Well, Phil Robertson is the Deputy Asia Director of Human Rights Watch. He joins us now live from Boston in the United States. Thanks so much for speaking to us. You know, this latest report really just kind of adds to the mounting pressure on the Myanmar government, but it just never seems to make enough difference because now we're still seeing the continued persecution of these communities in Rakhine State, as well as those that have been accused of atrocities actually returning to the area.
Well, that's right. And unfortunately, the way that the Burmese military operates has not changed one iota. We are seeing, again, the targeting of civilians, the burning of civilian properties, rights abuses against civilians, indiscriminate shelling, and trying to chase people essentially out of any area where the army believes that there's some insurgents. In this case, it's ethnic Buddhist Rakhine of the Arakan army who are fighting against the Burmese military, not the Rohingya, but you know, the tactics are the same. It is a rights-abusing military, and until those senior commanders are held accountable for what is being done against these in their name, then ultimately we're going to continue to see these abuses take place.
You know, Myanmar authorities also will continue to argue that they are fighting a war against, you know, the Arakan army, and therefore their actions are justified. How can those militant elements, you know, within Rakhine State be dealt with to at least eliminate that justification? I mean, should peace talks be considered?
Well, that would be one way. I mean, another way would be to follow the international humanitarian law, the laws of war, which is that, you know, in persecuting a war, you don't shoot at civilians, you don't shell villages, you don't, rape women. These are the sort of things that are basic core principles that have been set out in the Geneva Conventions and the other various parts of international humanitarian law, and the Myanmar army just refuses to follow. Our view would be that the government has to restrain its military, and it has to basically say that if you commit these kind of abuses, that you will be held accountable. But really, since the 50 to 60 years since 1962, when the military took over the first time and destroyed democracy, we have never seen that kind of accountability, whether the victims have been Rakhine or other ethnic groups around the country.
Okay, Phil Robertson, unfortunately, we will have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us from Boston.